So on the left-hand side of the screen, we have your schedule, and the default view brings in just a few columns from your schedule data: the task ID, the name of the activity, the percent complete, and the status of the activity. But there's many more columns and data headers that I can add to the schedule. So if I go through here, I'm just gonna add all of them for fun. And you'll see all of the different types of data that we can associate with your schedule. Some of these columns are being read directly from the schedule itself, and some of these get populated within the system either automatically or can be manually edited by the user. So I'll walk through each one. Again, you'll see the ID, which is your task ID. This is what ties this information back to your master schedule and your schedule authorship tools. The next column here is your activity and name. That's coming from your schedule. Percent complete. This schedule does not have any percent complete yet because we haven't progressed any geometry. The next one here is status, and some of these columns have the ability to filter the data that's in them. So here I can filter the status column by not started, in progress, or complete. When I click complete, you can see there's nothing shown. In progress, there's nothing shown. That's because I haven't progressed anything yet. If I were to deselect those all or just select not started, then you'll see all of the activities here. I have planned start date, the planned duration, planned end. These are also filterable by date. I have trade, which is a custom category that I can assign to an item to help with filtering. To show you that, I'll expand the schedule a little bit. So I can select an activity and then right click, and this is where I can update some of these fields that are editable by the user. So I can update the trade here. So I have a trade, I'll just select one, woods and plastics, update that. And now you can see that that trade is associated with this activity. And if I want to edit that, I can continue to do the editing and updating here through that. The next column is actual start date, actual end date, and actual duration. So these will get updated as I start to progress the geometry and start to update that percent complete. The type field here tells us what type of schedule item this is. So we'll be interacting with tasks, but schedules may also have a work breakdown structure, which is noted as WBS, or milestones. We also have total float as the next column. And then we have an assignee column, so you can add assignees here, same type of workflow. You just right click and hit update assignee. This can be used to assign different tasks to different people who are responsible for updating those tasks. We have a responsible company, so you may also want to assign a company to those tasks, and again, that'd be the person who's responsible for updating it. Total quantity will quantify all of the geometry that's been linked to this task. Installed quantity will quantify all of the geometry that's been installed and marked as progressed against this task. Total quantity each is the total quantity for all of the geometry that's quantified as an each, as the unit of measure, and then the total installed quantity for each. And then we have total installed quantity by meter. This is set up in the metric system, but if you're working in US imperial units, this would be in feet. And so this is all of the geometry that is measured as a unit of measure in meters or feet, and then all that's been installed for this activity. Additionally, there's a few more I forgot to add. So we can also add location, classification, code, and last updated to this. There's a lot of data that can be associated with the activities. Typically, when I'm going through and using this, I'll hide a lot of these columns just to make the view a little bit more simple. We will keep just status and percent complete, and I'm going to drag this. I can adjust the columns to whatever my preference is. At the top of the activity panel, the last thing I'll show you is we have this expand button. So if I click expand, it'll just expand the whole hierarchy of the schedule. So you can see that here. And if I collapse, it'll collapse it down just to the parent activities to make a really streamlined view. And I can also go through and manually open up each section. So that's a walkthrough of the different features and functionality within this progress screen.